what I have given out to you on this yellow sheet, this information here, we're going to do direct and inverse variation again. And again, it could say inversely proportional, directly proportional to. It means the same thing as varies inversely as. And the equal ratio method works like this. If A varies directly as B, so girls vary directly as boys, dogs vary directly as cats, something varies directly as something else. Whatever the first thing mentioned is A1 over A2. So if it's dogs, D1 over D2. If it's elephants, E1 over E2. Whatever category is there. Subscript 1 on top, subscript 2 on bottom. And then the second thing, if it's directly as the second thing, what happens is the subscripts are the same directly across. So the first A matches up to the first B, the second A matches up to the second B, and you're going to know 3 of those 4 things. It'll say if there were 5 A's when there were 10 B's, A1 is 5, B1 is 10. How many A's were there when B was 50? And then B2 is 50, what's A2? And then you got a little proportion, you cross multiply and you're done. Okay. Where before we had to use the first information to find K, go back, substitute K back in, work it out, and then once we figured out what K was, we had to go find the answer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do both problems today both ways. You can kind of compare the 2 techniques and you can decide which one you like better. For an inverse variation, notice A varies, notice the same thing. So A varies A1 over A2, A varies A1 over A2. But this time inversely as B, so notice the subscripts get inverted. Right? So the subscript 1 goes on the bottom, subscript 2 goes on top. So first A, first B, second A, second B. They get crisscrossed from each other. Still proportion, and again, cross multiplication, you're going to know 3 of the 4 things. Put them where they belong correctly, and then just solve your proportion. So let's try problem number 1. Cost varies directly as the number purchased. So cost varies gets me C1 over C2. Directly as the number purchased, directly means that the subscripts are the same. So number purchased 1 on top, number purchased 2 on the bottom. So C1 and N1 represent the cost and number purchased at one event, and C2 and N2 represent the cost and number purchased at another event. So it says 12 can be purchased for $78. All right? So that's C1 and N1, right? Which one's which?
C1 is 78.
C1 is 78. So cost is $78, and number purchased is 12. And how much would 42 cost? So again, we're purchasing 42. How much would it cost? So be careful that they don't always list the numbers the same order that they list the words up in the first sentence. So just make sure you make a notation in your mind about what they're giving you for information. Proportions made, so then if I just cross multiply, 12 times C2 is equal to 78 times 42. Which is 3276. Is that what you said, Maddie? I didn't hear you, sorry. I heard the 6th part, I couldn't hear the first part. 3276. So 12C2 is equal to that, divide by 12.
273.
Was it?
273.
273? Jeez, expensive. So the final cost is $273. So I didn't have to find K to find C. I just found C. So the advantage of this technique is you can create a formula that gets you the answer you're looking for immediately without having to go through a middleman. Now, just looking at the same problem using that K technique, cost varies directly as number purchased. So again, we start out with that, right? That's how we do direct variation. It's always K either times or divided by, directly as times. 12 can be purchased for $78. So $78 equals K times 12. Divide both sides by 12 to get K is equal to whatever it is, 6.5. And then once you know what K is, then you go back up here, put K right there, so now C is equal to 6.5N. So then what would the cost be for 42? C is equal to 6.5 times 42. And then if you type that in the calculator, 6.5 times 42 comes out to 273 also, thankfully. It'd be bad if it came out to a different answer, since it's the same problem. But both methods work, both methods get the right answer. The advantage to the new technique is, again, it gets you to the answer you're looking for immediately Or the other technique, you have to go through the middleman, find K first, use K to find the answer you're looking for. So, my opinion, this method's much more efficient. I prefer that method, but again, both methods work every time, and they're good use of algebra, so that's why I like to go through both of them.